I'm here to see Chief Hughes.
Good to see you again, Mr. Johnson.
Both myself and Danny Anderson had someone follow us and break into our houses.
I appreciate you for standing up for me.
We all we got.
Has anybody seen my lunch? I put it in the fridge this morning and it's not there.
What? I didn't know this was his boo. You gotta stop just popping up to chit-chat. People are gonna thinking something's up.
Johnson, all new episode, Sunday, 8/7 Central, only on Bounce.
Real good. All right, so what motivated you to originally bring Johnson to television?
Well, there was a lot of motivations. I saw a lack of shows on television at the time that really reflected who I was as a man, who my friends were, who my father is, my brothers. A lack of representation that I felt was truly authentic in how we are on a daily basis. A lack of representation that really, explored, a lot of the issues that we deal with as Black men. And so I wanted to create an offering. I wanted to create stories that were relatable, stories that told our stories and represented us the way that I felt like I wanted to be seen. A show that represents the vast majority of us, as opposed to, a show that, shows us as always resorting to violence or emotionally unintelligent. You know what I mean? So, it was just an opportunity to create some balance. I travel a lot, and I understand how important media is across, the country and the world, and it can really have an effect on people's perception of you and your culture. And so, just trying to do my small part in creating some balance.
It makes sense. And then you touched on it, but explain to our audience, for someone that hasn't seen Johnson, how is it from a Black man's perspective?
So the show is called Johnson. It's about 4 Black men who have been friends since grade school. There's no relation, but they all have the same last name, and they're all best friends. And, they're all in different places in their lives, in their relationships, in their careers, and they have a very strong bond. But, as what happens oftentimes with friends who have been friends for so long is life gets in the way, and sometimes those friendships start to move further apart, and so they're trying to keep that bond strong. And so we deal with topics that are relevant to our culture, not just Black men, but also Black women as well. Yeah. And topics like, mental health, topics like divorce, topics like, religion, and, addressing stereotypes like, the absentee father, which couldn't be further from the truth. There's stats to back that up, that, Black fathers are the most engaged fathers in the nation. And so all of these things we put together into a show that really explored the characters of these Black men, because they're all different. Even though they're best friends, they all have different essences, they all have different vibes, they all have different personalities, they all have different backstories. They come from, the same area, but they're, they have different views on life, different perspectives on politics, different perspectives on religion, different perspectives on love and commitment and things like that. And so it's just real. It's really, really real in a lot of different ways. And so to put all that together, to put all of these topics that we don't shy away from into this show, and then to make it entertaining and keep people engaged and on the edge of your seat, that's what Johnson is.
Makes a lot of sense. Tell us about Gregg, and what does he bring to the group of friends?
Gregg is he's that blunt friend.
Yeah.
He's that friend that's gonna tell you exactly what he's thinking. It doesn't matter the time. He ain't gonna read the room. You know what I'm saying? He's just gonna say what he feels. And I think everybody needs a friend like that. He's honest. No, he cares, he loves hard. He might be hard to love sometimes, but he loves hard, and he fights. He has very strong opinions, and he fights for those, even if it causes friction within the group. Some might say he's the instigator, but he means well. He he hasn't quite figured out exactly what he wants to do with his life. He's still trying to figure that out. You know, he's done a number of odd jobs. He's an Uber driver. He sold Herbalife. You know, he's done security. But that's real for a lot of people. You know, there's a lot of people who are late bloomers in terms of, you know, everybody's not fortunate to know exactly what they want to do from when they were young, super young. You know what I mean? So Gregg is that guy who's still trying to figure it out, and that's okay. You know, out of all his friends, he hasn't really quite figured out what his role is in terms of you know, his career path, but he's working.
Right. Okay. Season 2 is heating up. So how would you say season 2 differs from season 1, whether it be the storylines? Anyway, how would you say?
Yeah. I think season 2 is different than season 1 because we've already established the characters. You know, season 1 you have to have the audience get to know these guys. You got to, you know, you have to show them and establish their characters. You know, and character building takes time, you know, as with any show. And so for season 2, you know, we jump right into it. You know, we jump right into the drama. We jump right into the comedy. We jump right into the friction that these guys have. The storylines have already been happening, so you know exactly who these guys are. You tend to know exactly you know, their position on certain things. And so it just starts off super fast. And you know, I think there's a lot more going on in season 2. There's a lot more many more situations that these guys got to deal with. So I think it's more dramatic. I think it's funnier, and I think you know, there's a suspense element to it as well. You know, that's keeping people guessing as to what's going on with some of these break-ins that's happening and who's behind all of this. So but yeah, you know, it's you know, we get a lot of compliments all the time, man. It's like, I was just reading some of the comments the other day, and you know, people were just saying like, man, the show just feels really, really real and very, very believable. And I think that was our goal, is to just make it super authentic. We didn't want to create a show where, oh, you know, that's pretty far-fetched, that would never happen. No, everything that happens can happen and does happen on a regular basis to everybody, to a lot of people.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I love the show. Talk about working with the cast, because you got an amazing cast ensemble. What brings you the most excitement when you're on set?
Seeing people fulfilled in their performances, seeing people read the script, you know, at table reads and in rehearsals, and how excited they get, you know, seeing the characters come to life. Yeah. You know, these are characters that, like, you know, I've sat with for a number of years, that I've continued to develop and cultivate. And, you know, to actually see these characters come to life with these incredible actors is, you know, sometimes I sit in awe and just kind of watch. I truly do, you know, or at the end of a long day, when there's like super heavy performances, or we had some incredible work done on set, or some great scenes. It's very fulfilling, you know. And so I'll do things like, yo, let's all go out and grab some food, and like we'll go, you know, to like there's a few spots in Atlanta that we'll go to. One is called Steamhouse Lounge, and I'll just, you know, just like pay for everybody, you know what I'm saying? A lot of excitement, you know. So it's a good time, man. We have incredible actors. We have Derek Brady, who's been in the game for a long time. He plays the role of Jarvis. We have Thomas Q. Jones, who he plays Omar. He's my producing partner. He's also an executive producer on the show. And we have the hilarious Philip Smithy, who plays Keith. And then we have very strong and prominent female characters on the show as well. So that's one of the compliments that we get on this show as well, is that it feels very balanced. Even though it's a show that's told from the male's perspective, it's a show for women. Right. And women, I think, are able to get a deeper look into, you know, how we think about a lot of situations. We have very strong female characters that challenge us. This is not a show where the guys sit around and complain and talk about what goes their way or what doesn't go their way. It's not that. You know, there's real situations, real relationships, real interactions between these men in terms of their brotherhood, and then also in terms of these women in their lives, you know. And so we have Kalila Joy on the show, who plays Naomi, that's Omar's wife. You know, we have Terrence Simmons this season. We have the incredible Terry J. Vaughn on the show, who has a nice, big, hefty arc this season. So you know, it's fun. It's just so much fun, man.
Yeah, it looks like it. And then you already answered this, but in a nutshell, tell everybody if they're not tuned in, why they need to be tuned in every Sunday on Bounce for Johnson.
Well, it's funny because, you know, every Sunday night we do a live tweet, and you know, the cast has progressively started to attend this live tweet session live more and more. And so now all the guys are on, and some of the women are on as well. And we just have a great time, man. You know, people are talking about the show, people are interacting with the cast. It's super fun. So every Monday, you know, Bounce posts some of those tweets, man. If you look at some of those tweets, man, they're actually pretty hilarious. So I would say watch the show if you want to see representation for, you know, Black men that you haven't really seen in this capacity. Of course, we've seen it. We've seen it in films, you know, we've seen it in, you know, select TV shows over the years, but in this capacity where it's a collective of us, and you know, we're not used as pawns. Like, we really dive into what makes these characters, what brought these characters to this point, topics and situations that we don't shy away from that can be deemed controversial, that we tackle. It's a fun show. It's a show that is enlightening at the same time as entertaining. You know, Cedric the Entertainer is on the show. He actually is going to guest star on this Sunday. This Sunday night at 8:00. You know, DL Hughley is on the show. So we have great actors, man. We have a great time on the show. We talk about real stuff. It's a good time.
I agree. Real good. Well, switching gears real quick, can you tell us about Escaping Paradise? I know that premiered recently at the African Musical Festival, and it's something that you're very proud of. So can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so Escaping Paradise is a feature film. It's the first feature film under our production company, myself and Thomas Q. Jones, Midnight Train Productions. And we shot it in the Philippines on location. It's a romantic action movie about a young couple that goes to an exotic island for their anniversary, and things go left. You know, they befriend this foreigner over there. They have a great time up until the time that they realize that something's not quite right with him. You know, I don't want to give it away, but they end up in a position of where they have to try to escape for their lives. So they're escaping paradise. It's a really cool film. It premiered at the ABFF Film Festival, Black Film Festival in Miami, and it's going to be showing at the Bronze Lens Film Festival in Atlanta at the end of this month. And we have a distribution deal with Black Mandala, and it's going to be out everywhere real soon in the next few months. So we're excited about that as well.
Good. Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
How would you say growing up in Atlanta, Georgia, prepared you for a career in Hollywood?
Well, I don't know if there was anything specific to Atlanta that prepared me for Hollywood. I would say, you know, growing up in Atlanta, there was a decent film industry there. Now it's Black Hollywood, right? Now it's booming. You know, growing up, obviously it wasn't as prominent as it is now, but it was enough for me to get my feet wet and to understand that this is something that I want to do. So I did a lot of theater when I was a kid. I did industrials. For people who don't know what industrials are, they're like, you know, let's just say like Georgia Power, right, in Atlanta, which is an electric company, does like a video that's going to be shown just locally in the city. So that's like an industrial, like, so I did a lot of those. And then I started, you know, when film started coming, I started doing films and TV shows. And then I got an agent in New York. And I started going back and forth to New York when I was 13 years old, and I was on Broadway, and did incredible work up there. An episode of New York Undercover, and some more theater in New York, and it was it really opened my eyes and taught me that the world is obviously bigger than where you come from, and that's something I try to have conversations with about to young people in inner cities. I mean, because we get so tunnel vision, right? That, everything that we're dealing with is the end all be all, and there's just so much more that we can accomplish, so much more that we can do. And so I was able to see that at a young age in terms of traveling, and I try my best to give back and pull people up, especially on the show Johnson. We make sure some of those themes are in the storylines, and utilizing young talent and young actors, giving them opportunities is something that I'm very passionate about. It prepared me in that way, just having a small film industry, and also now with the big film industry, being able to go back and shoot in my hometown is really fulfilling. It's like a full circle moment for me.
Yeah, I can imagine. And then we know, of course, about Johnson, and then the new movie Escaping Paradise. What else is next for you?
Man, we're pitching other shows. Just trying to stay busy. As a writer, I did Bosch on Amazon Prime for 7 seasons, and I'll be rejoining that show for an episode or two coming up on the new Bosch Legacy series that's on Freevee. Just staying busy. For me, I can be fulfilled in a number of different ways. I don't have to necessarily, be directing all the time or acting all the time. If I can sit at home comfortable and order some good food, man, and write a good story, then that's fulfilling for me. So I'm doing a lot of that. Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense. I like that. Before we wrap up, is there anything else you want to leave with our viewers?
Well, first and foremost, I appreciate Urban Bridges for the platform. I feel like, our show is a very special show. It's a show that we've really strived to make sure we're super authentic and do something for the culture that people can be proud of when they see it. And the only way that people are going to know about it is through platforms like this, through promo, right? Through trailers and stuff like that. But it's the journalists, it's the blog sites, it's the websites, it's the magazines and things like that. It's you guys that, take these stories to the viewers, you know what I mean? So I just want to thank you for the opportunity. I just want to tell the viewers, man, to tune into the show, tune in to Johnson, put it on your must-watch list. If you can't catch it on Bounce live on Sunday nights at 8:00, you can watch it on the Brown Sugar app. Yeah. So that's an app that's in the App Store. Just download Brown Sugar, and you can catch up on all of season 1 and watch where we're at right now currently with season 2. So
yeah, real good. But I definitely want to thank you for taking time out speaking with us at Urban Bridges. I'm a huge fan of the show since season 1, so I can't wait to see how this season plays out.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. You continue success and blessings. You have a good one, okay?
Hey, you too. Thank you.
I'm tired of being all this silent investing stuff. It's time for people to know my name. I want to be all up in the videos like P. Diddy.
Oh, come on, Quinn Davis. If it ain't broke, you don't fix it. You're the money man, and I am the talented, handsome face behind the enterprise. But let me hear your idea.
Now, we talking about expanding, right? We're going to open up a lounge in L.A. I just want to do some commercials and stuff, man. Get out there, try to drum up some more business. People see who I am. I'll be like the spokesman. I dress up, I put the fedora on, I dress all monochromatic like your boy Steve Harvey. I'm talking about all red, all blue, all lime green. You feel me?
You know what? That actually ain't a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, man. And your nephew here could be head of security. With that neck, ain't nobody getting past him, man. I know I feel safe already.